Hey guys, welcome back. Got a little bit different setting tonight. I had the night off and it was a real pleasant night out tonight, so I thought I'd do this out on the deck. If you hear something in the background, they got some construction going on. They're building a house over there, and I think they're putting in a driveway right now. So anyway, show you a recent haul I got. Some mostly black and white oriented stuff. I want to give a big shout out to Scott, Coast and Bromstar. A lot of times I'll put stuff on a want list, and I'll kind of put it on a piece of paper or notebook, and I'll set it somewhere, and then I'll forget where I put it, and then so my want lists are kind of haphazard and scattered out. But he put up a video just recently that kind of reminded me of some stuff I did have on my want list, so thank you, Scott, for this. I'm sure a lot of you already seen the video he did on the Spectacular Spider-Man magazines. And I think right after I watched it, I went on eBay and just started skulking around. And a guy actually had both issues. And this one's probably fine shape. It's a little bit rough. You might have like a little bitty tear down here on this binding, but otherwise it's in really good shape. You know, and he's already showed you the interior, so I just wanted to show you these and say a big thank you, Scott. I got this one. And number 2, which like he showed before was smaller in a color edition, but this one's probably I would call this a very fine. This is in really nice shape. And these things are outrageous most of the time, but you know, I've been getting lucky lately on eBay, or kind of getting in there before somebody else does. But got both these books for under 40 bucks. And like I say, this one's probably very fine, probably a VG fine on this one. So felt real fortunate to get these. Like I said, Scott, thanks again for reminded me that I did have these on my want list, and thanks for making me spend my money. Okay, since we're in the black and white vein here, this is a book I'd actually got probably a few months ago, but I forgot about it, and I've just been kind of reading through it. But this is Showcase Presents The Great Disaster, and you know, for fans of Kamandi and Hercules Unbound and you know, that sort of stuff. This reprints like a lot of stuff. I think it reprints the whole run of Hercules Unbound 1 through 12. It's got a bunch of weird war stories that were like a series called Day After Doomsday. I think it's got some backup features that were in Kamandi, Tales of the Great Disaster. I think it's got some Superman book tales in here. But just, I'll kind of go through this. You can kind of see what all's in here. You have the Day After Doomsday feature that was in Weird War, pre-disaster tales and Weird War tales, Tales of the Atomic Knights, the old reprints from Strange Adventures and Mystery in Space. I think, yeah, I think they're pretty much all from Strange Adventures, but a lot of these great stories by John Broome and Murphy Anderson. And then you got reprints, first issue special, a bunch of stuff. But sound like some dogs are upset. But anyway, just anybody that's interested in the Great Disaster, the apocalypse, the you know, post-apocalyptic stuff, which I know a lot of us are. I mean, this has got some great art in it. We got actually got a story in here by Steve Ditko. Like I say, you got the Atomic Knights by Murphy Anderson. And what else? I think we have a reprint of first issue special number 1 with Atlas character Jack Kirby did. Further, you have, like I say, it reprints all 12 issues of Hercules Unbound, which is a really cool series. And what else? I think a lot of this was done by Rick Estrada, but Wally Wood inked it, so it pretty much looks like Wally Wood in every issue. And Walt Simonson did a bunch of issues, which Walt did the cover too, as you can tell. Anyway, I think there's a, like I say, some Tales of Great Disaster, backups in Commandy. I'm sure people that read Commandy have already read these. I just think it's really neat to get all this in a black and white format. And of course, I think I've pretty much read all of these except for maybe a few of the Weird War Tales. It's just a great book, but great bunch of reading. Okay, some more black and white stuff I got off another dealer. It's a little bit rough shape. It's Marvel Super Special number 12, Warriors of the Shadow Realm. This has got some really great art. I think John Buscema penciled it, and Rudy Nebres inked it, and they had another guy named Ledger that painted the whole thing. So lots of cool artwork in here. Pull that out, show you. First you can see the cover. And here's some of the interior work. It's a really neat little package. There's a really cool page right there. But I think this and the one Spider-Man mag is the only one that was in color. Okay, next one I've got was one I've been wanting to get for a while. For those of you that collect the Atlas Seaboard comics, the short-lived company in the mid-70s, they had like a real small section of black and white magazines they put out. And this is one of them. I had number 1. This is number 2. And the last issue of Devilina. Really cool character. Torgerson painted this cover, and got some really nice artwork by Frank Thorne in here. I know Tony, Why Not Art, he's a big fan of Frank Thorne stuff. And I was a pretty big fan, and I read this, man. His artwork in this is beautiful. So just Devilina number 2 of 2. Really nice looking cover. Okay. And that same deal, he threw in a freebie. This is just a reader copy. The cover is detached from the rest of it. It's Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 12. Really nice Neil Adams painted cover. There's a Roger Moore as 007 in action. But for reading copy, it's got some really good stuff in it. I think there was a backup feature in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu called Sons of the Tiger, and George Perez got some early George Perez art in this. So it's kind of neat. It doesn't look like Perez does now, but it's kind of neat to see how some of these great artists' styles started out. So got number 12 of that. Nice little reading copy. Okay, and these last two, I was just kind of looking around on some horror stuff, and I had never heard of this. Well, actually, I think I'd kind of heard of like some portfolios and some stuff being out, some self-published stuff. But I know a lot of people that are like big Jeff Jones and Bernie Wrightson and Mike Kaluta fans know they put out some portfolios of their art. I think they all shared a studio at one time. There's some great stuff in here. He actually threw in, there was 2 copies. I paid for one, but he threw in 2. And I had never seen these, and I just thought they were awesome. Because I don't even know if they're in the guide or not. But it's a magazine called This Is Legend. They've got a great painted Bernie Wrightson cover of the Headless Horseman. This is kind of a wrinkle, but it's probably the better of the 2. But I got another copy, and I'll show you some of the interiors. Just want to throw a little red flag up. If anybody's got any underage kids watching, there is some erotic stuff in here. So you've been warned. If you've got little kids or whatever, you might want to take them out of the room and watch it later. It's got some great illustrations. Some guys I've never heard of, but like I say, you got some great stuff. And you have an adaptation. I'm not sure who did that. But they're just great illustrations all the way through. But you have an adaptation of The Headless Horseman, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Bernie Wrightson. glorious black and white. And like a lot of you guys, I'm a big Bernie fan, so I thought it was great. It was worth having just for that. This came out around, I think, 1970, if I'm not mistaken. And here's a great two-page spread. Okay, and they've got a what they call a scroll call. Probably kind of hard to see, but like some of the creators in it: Randy Brecker, Frank Bruner, Frank Frazetta, Steve Hickman, Bruce Jones, Jeff Jones, Mike Kaluta, Ken Kelly, Bob Klein, Roy Krinkle. I know a lot of you guys know who he is. Ken Smith, Alan Weiss. He might have been part of that studio gang I was telling you about. Yeah, just some beautiful artwork. And I'm not sure, it doesn't even have a... I don't even think this has a company that was printed by, so this might have been self-published. I'm sure somebody out there probably knows, could tell me. But I just thought this was a great pickup, and especially get an extra thrown in free. Another great illustration. Two guys I've never heard of, Juanillo and Steve Hickman. And here's a pretty funny one. I'm a big Peanuts fan, so that one kind of, I cracked up with that one. Hershey Red Baron with Snoopy and the Jet Fighter. Not sure who that is. Ken Smith. Some more really cool black and white stuff. Okay, got more Ken Kelly and Juanillo. Here's a great two-page spread by Frank Bruner. This is beautiful. Give me a little sip. Nothing like a cold frost one on a night off, huh? I just thought that was awesome. Okay, you have some more Ken Smith. Speaking of erotic illustrations. Pretty cool. And the Gardener. This might be Kaluta. Yeah, I think that is Kaluta. Tell by the style. I just thought this was a great little collectible to have. Like I said, I had never heard of this. Ken Kelly stuff. It's just kind of chock full of illustrations. A couple sequential stories. This is really good. I think there was actually a flyer selling some fantasy artwork back then. kind of speaks for itself. And you have a quick sketch in here by Frazetta. Conan type character. I'm sure who did this. Randy Yates. Not sure if he's any relation to Tom Yates. Looks like somebody on the river Styx right there. And a nice little page by Bruce Jones. Okay, here's it published by Richard L. Jennings. And that's all I know about that, but that's just a great book, great collectible, awesome painted cover. You don't see very many Bernie Wrightson painted covers. This was from 1970. So, there we are. Well, guys, thanks for sticking around through all that. Hope you enjoyed it. And hope you're having a good night. And as always, onward and upward.